Now that is the West Ham way. Great performance. We just won away at Chelsea. We haven't won here in 17 years. Previous weeks we've been battered by Newcastle, battered by Burnley, and then we produce a result like that, which is just mind-boggling, really. Pellegrini, hats off to him. He actually made some like drastic changes, and in my opinion, I'm still I hate saying it, but I'm still Pellegrini out. Purely because it's taken 99% of the fan base and the board putting all the feelers out in the background. It's just taken all of that to make Pellegrini actually change his ways and try something different, which is just not good enough, really. It's not good enough. But, you know, let's be happy. It was a good result. It was very interesting what he did. He kind of went back to his... When he came into the club, and, you know, he was doing your research and whatnot about what formations he plays, and that 4-4-1-1 was always, like, his preferred formation. But, like, we've not seen it before. Like, we haven't seen it, but it did work well. We had lots of pace up front, so we had Antonio with Anderson just behind him. He kind of like packed the midfield, so it was a, you know, 2 banks of 4, which we defended in 2 banks of 4. That looked like it was almost just back to basics defending, which worked quite well. But yeah, like the 4 midfield, there wasn't really like so much width. It looked like quite compact, and we had the width from Fredericks and Creswell. So it was good, yeah. But in my eyes, you know, it might buy him a week or two, but I still think a replacement is probably being lined up in the background somewhere, which, you know, it makes sense, really. Now, when it comes to the managers coming in, a lot of people were talking about Eddie Howe. There was a poll, I think it was ex-West Ham employee did a poll with, like, you know, thousands and thousands of people voted for it, and Eddie Howe won it by like 63%. Now, you know, did you like that yesterday? That is the question. Did you like us setting up maybe a little bit more defensively and grinding out a result and getting a win and being happy with the win, you know? So if you like that, then maybe Eddie Howe is not specifically going to be like the right man for us. I think someone a little bit more tactical and a little bit more pragmatic would be better for us in the long run. I mean, if you look at Eddie Howe's, I mean, I know Bournemouth, his squad, he doesn't have the squad what we have, like, at all. He doesn't have really like any as much quality, but, you know, I think it's 1 win in 8 that Eddie Howe's got, which is, I think it's actually the exact same, almost the same record with the few draws as well that Pellegrini's got now. And we're looking to boot Pellegrini out, which is going to cost them however much, whether it's 8 million, 15 million, or if you look at it the way of like, well, he's bought all these players in and whatnot, it's gonna cost him even much, because some of the players he's bought in, he's used. Don't matter what we see, it's going to cost us money. So what are they going to do? Like, I don't know. There's lots of options. I mean, you just imagine now, if we go on a run and we win the next 4 games, which on paper don't look like we're going to, but if we do it, is 99% of the fan base still going to be Pellegrini out? Who knows? And I think this is a lot of the problem. The board and the other accounts and the few people that they're kind of associated with, they use them to put out their propaganda, and they also use them to put out the feelers, whether it be for, like, you know, polls for this and that. And I think the board are so worried after the protests a few years back. They're so worried of what the fans think of them, and everyone pointing the finger at them, that they're almost too reactive to what the fans' opinions are. The fans' opinion is important, but I think sometimes, being the boss of a company, you know, you can take your employees' sort of, you know, ideas and stuff like that, but really you're the one at the edge. You're the one that's sitting there in charge, so you're the one really that should be making those educated. Which is does get me onto another interesting. Emery got sacked the other day. I was driving. Yeah, Emery has been sacked from Arsenal, and all the views on their manager are almost like the polar opposite from ours. So basically, like, a lot of the things that are getting people pissed off about Pellegrini is that he just sticks to the same formation every single team, and sticks to the exact same players like every single team, every single week, even though it doesn't work. Whereas with Emery, all I'm hearing, I don't really watch Arsenal. I don't really like, my brother's an Arsenal fan. Yeah, I don't really watch Arsenal that much. But all I'm hearing is Emery is constantly chopping and changing his formation and chopping and changing his starting 11, and he'll change his formation like 3 or 4 times in a game. So kind of like polar opposites there. So yeah, I think sort of that middle ground is definitely the best way to go. But yeah, let's just, you know, we've got another game. We've got a game midweek this week. David Martin is going to be in goal again, and that was absolutely scenes at the end. I said on Twitter, like, I haven't felt. My missus made me watch Marley and Me once, and you know when you get that lump in your throat and it just starts going, like when I was at the end when he went and hugged his dad. I was watching it on a moody stream, but then I flicked my phone onto Sky Sports News straight after the game, because you don't really get no good post game action. And the interview with him with Cratler, I was properly welling up. It's made a difference. Maybe on paper Roberto might be the best stop shot, but the problem with Roberto was he was trying to command his box in the same way as Fabianski does. So when the cross is coming in, he was like trying to punch him and trying to grab him, whilst, like, you know, Ogbono or someone was trying to head the ball away, and it was just an absolute shambles. But with Martin in goal, it's like they'd almost said to him, because he's not a very big fella either, is he? He's quite short for a keeper. He'd obviously, you know, he made some fantastic saves, but when it comes to like the balls coming into the box, which was the main problem with Roberto, it was like Martin was just back on his line, and he was just there ready to make a save if he needed to. And it was almost like they'd said, right, defenders, Ogbono, Rice, all you boys, when that ball comes in, you fucking try and head it out. If someone makes if someone gets a header and it comes at me goal, I'm going to be standing here on my line to make the save. So, you know, not the most modern, and, you know, it's not really what you would look for in a Premier League keeper. But in the short term, like, absolutely happy days. But to think that we've had that bloke sitting there on the bench for the last like 4 or 5 games, however many it's been, when Roberto's been making all them howlers, is absolutely shocking, isn't it, really? But yeah, onwards and upwards. Let's look forward to next week. Come on, you Irons.